Jared Wellman. I'm an instructor at the Bernardo Free Academy. I want to show you a good way to cool down after you've just finished a night of hard rolling, some hard classes. It is very common. I see this in the students all the time. I know sometimes I do it. You finish class, you talk with the guys, the girls for a couple minutes, shake hands, say your goodbyes, hit the locker room, and off you go. And you've got that 15, 20, 30-minute drive home, maybe longer. And by the time you get home, you get out of the car and you're stiff. So 5-10 minutes of cool down after classes is huge. I highly recommend it, especially if your school has a space where you can go and stretch, or if there's time between classes, or if you just be in a corner real quick as the next class is starting. 5 minutes of stretching. Here's some quick stretches you can think about. Think about the major areas, your hamstrings, your quads and glutes, for sure, like your legs. You can think about your shoulders, your chest, and your back, and maybe a little bit of the neck, right? If you have problem areas, you could always hit it, but if you have 5 minutes, here's a couple quick stretches to help you get loosened up so that you could drive home, feel a little bit more comfortable for the rest of the night, and you can recover faster for the next day. So first thing I like to do is I get here on my knees. Now most people can sit on these, but some people are still struggling a little bit if you have issues with your ankles. But if you've been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, you should be able to sit here. You're used to playing a closed guard. So I can be about 45 on each foot, or a total of 90 degrees, or I can bring my knees together, up to you. In yoga, they call this child's pose. But what I want to think about is keeping my heels and my butt connected. And I'm going to walk forward so that my armpits get as close to the mat as they can. So here I'm pretty high, but I keep my hips and my heels connected as I walk forward. If I start feeling my hips rise too far, I make sure I'm pushing back. I'm actively pushing away. When I get as far as I can, my hips and heels are still good. Now I'm dropping my armpits down. We'll do it for a couple different angles, right? If I start here, I can get nice and low. And look how I'm walking my hands out. Different levels of flexibility. It should be intense, but not painful. It shouldn't hurt and cause an injury. I want to go as far as I comfortably can. So right now, my hips are still above my ankles, but look how high my armpits are. I want to think of dropping, and I'm pushing myself back. I'm pushing myself here. So if I can walk out a little farther, good. I'm nice and relaxed. This is probably most people will end up here. If you can drop your elbows, even better, but I shouldn't be here. This isn't helping. I'd rather be up high with my hips pushed back than far forward. So quick, easy stretch. I get here, my fingers are spread, active hands, and I'm pushing back. Now I do this a lot, so maybe I'm more flexible than you. Maybe you're more than me. It doesn't matter. Find your aim. But for me, I want to get deep. I'm low here. I check to make sure I feel my hips and my heels. Once you get to that spot, I want you to take a couple deep breaths. Just calm down. It's easy to take like one breath and move on. Don't. Try to spend about 20-30 seconds in this position. So again, I'm 9 degrees with my knees. I get low, and I hang out here. So that's a good stretch. Let's add on to it. From here, I'm gonna pick up one foot. I'm gonna drop this down, toes up, staying in that same thing. So I have almost like half straddle kind of position, but by keeping this up, I'm now extending the groin. I'm gonna do the same idea, walk out, keeping the heel and the butt connected, and I drop down. Nice, relaxed, couple deep breaths here. I come back up, I bring that foot back in, take a second, relax there. Set up the other foot. If I put my toes down, nothing wrong with it, it's a variation, but for what we're trying to do is get the most bang for the buck, so I'm gonna turn my heel up, sink my heel down. Maybe you're up high, but most people, if they can get this side down, if I'm sitting right on my shin, I should be able to get this side down. You'll notice the stretch in the groin. Same idea, I walk my hands out, get low here. Good, so now I come back in. Here's the next one we're gonna do for the hips, and then we'll move on to other parts of the body. We're gonna do what's called a frog stretch. So my knees come wide now, and I turn my toes out. You can see it from the side here that I went from this position, I brought my legs, and I turn my toes out, and I wanna rock my hips back and forth a little bit, find a nice sweet spot. Some people will be up high, some people will be down low. For me, I'm getting as low as I comfortably can that my hips allow, my groin allows. From here, drop down elbows, take a couple breaths here. No big deal. Now from here, once you feel pretty good, we're gonna do that same idea we did with sticking one leg out, but now our toes are going down. Important, this side stayed the same. My toes are pointing out. Use your hands to assist. Look how I'm straight here. I don't wanna bend my knee. I wanna make sure my foot is on the mat, my leg is straight, and I'm driving this way while dropping my hips. Most people can probably come to about here. If you're really flexible, you'll sink low, If you can get this, this is great. Again, intense, but not painful. If you want an advanced stretch, try to grab your own foot. Move slowly into this. You shouldn't be jerking or thrusting or trying to reach for it. It should be smooth. So I get low, reach for my foot, and I stay here, nice and relaxed. Like I said, most people will be about here. Don't push it to what I'm doing or what somebody next to you is doing. Do what's your comfortable level. Nice stretch. I come back into that frog position. Toes out, relax my hips, use my hands. I stretch my other foot, nice and relaxed. If I can drop down to elbows, great. Don't let the toes roll up on this one. Toes are on the mat. So elbows, couple breaths, 4, deep. Now I come back up, relax. We've done a good job of getting the lower body, the hips. Those are some of the main things. Just by doing that particular sequence, you've loosened up much of your hips. Let's hit the shoulders real quick. Let's hit the neck, get you out of here. Tabletop position from the side. This is gonna work our upper back. I'm gonna do a reach through with my hand. So I go palm up. I'm gonna reach as far as I can, and then I'm gonna drop my shoulder on the mat, okay? So I'm here in this tabletop or this all 4 position. I reach through, palm up, shoulders here. Now I'm gonna lift this hand, I'm gonna push away a little farther. Once I get this nice stretch, I'm gonna hang out here for a couple breaths. This is level 1 or the easiest one. If I want a little bit harder, I can reach up, straight arm, all the way from wrist to shoulder to the other shoulder. Or a level 3, really kind of the next advance, is I push here and round the back. You can see there's a lot of spinal rotation. Take a couple breaths here. Use my hand, come back up. So as you're doing this, ease into the stretch. Think 2 or 3 or 4 breaths, deep breaths. Allow the muscles to chill. They should be pretty loose if you had a hard night. Then ease back out of it. So each of these positions should take 20, maybe 30 seconds. 20 seconds on the left side, and then I go on the right side. Push away, hang out here. Maybe I reach up for level 2, or maybe I come to level 3 and I push here. Couple breaths, I come back in. So now I've done the hips, I've done some good spinal rotation, some thoracic, which is your upper shoulder area. Now we want to get some work of the neck, right? So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna sit in this position. I'm gonna work by turning my hands around, okay? My hands go around and I wanna keep them right and nice tight to the hips, and I'm gonna drop my legs, okay? This is good for the wrists, good for the shoulders, and look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drive forward, come up here, squeezing my shoulder blades, so the neck's a little bit loose, the traps are loose, and just drop my head. So now I'm getting a nice reverse tabletop. When I pull back, my goal is to bring my hips all the way to my hand. Now, if you find that this is a little tough on the wrist, it may be, especially you spider guard and lasso players, fingers can go forward. Same motion, but now I'm not getting as much work on the shoulders. Dropping back in. So for me, I want to work that wrist flexibility, you know, especially against wrist lockers. So look, I'm here, strong chest. I drive my feet forward, bring myself up to a straight line. My whole knee to hip to shoulders should be strong, it shouldn't be sagging. As I'm here, relax. Now I can get a little looseness on the neck. Drop back down. Come back in. Last thing we're gonna do is for the neck specifically. So you can do this sitting, you can do this standing, up to you. What we're gonna do is what I call a chicken wing, okay? So from here, make sure I'm sitting up tall. One hand comes all the way behind, my other hand grabs it and pulls it across. So I have the chicken wing on the right side. Make sure I'm sitting up with a good strong spine, then tilt my ear to my shoulder. Hang out for like a breath or 2. Look up at the ceiling for a breath or 2. Look down for a breath or 2. Relax. Same thing on the other side. Arm reaches all the way across and I catch it at the wrist. I'll show you another angle in just a second, but I make sure my chicken wing is out. Now notice how I'm slumped here. Don't go here, this is hard on the neck. Bring your posture upright, tilt, and breathe. Take a breath or 2, relax. Look up, breath or 2, look down. That chicken wing from behind, I'm here. One arm comes across, I grip, pull across, posture is up, then I tilt. So guys, that's it. Super, super easy to get through this. If you have a couple minutes, you can write it down, I mean, if you want, but I bet you'll remember. It's really easy. I want to start in this modified child's pose. So child's pose in yoga is typically with our knees together. I'm just going a little wider to allow my hips to come down. So that first one, I'm here, nice and relaxed, a couple deep breaths. I pop up one foot, bring my toes up, come back down, relaxed. Come to the other side, relax, come back in. Next one is frog. I open both my legs. Pick one side, drop down, relax, come back up. Hit the other side, drop down, relax, come back up. Now I've gotten the hips done. From there, we want to go to the upper body. So I come to my tabletop, one arm through. I either hang out here, here, or here. Come back up, hit the other side. Same idea. Each time I relax, breathe a little bit, come back up. Now I'm sitting back to my reverse tabletop. Easy version, hands forward or hands back. Make sure I'm right next to my hips. I come up, I hold, drop my head, let that relax, pull it back in. Maybe do 2 or 3 of these cycles. Last one I'm gonna do is that chicken wing. I come back up, chicken wing one side, chicken wing one side. Now my neck is good. So shouldn't take you more than 4 or 5 minutes, but we're hitting most of the major areas. Are there other stretches you can do? For sure. If you have 10 minutes, add on to it. Are there other parts of the body you could hit? Sure, you can work your ankle mobility. Maybe you want to work more of the front of your pecs or your shoulder mobility. For sure. This can be a quick thing you do and then add supplemental things on if needed. If you like this kind of stuff, I'll throw a shout out to Yoga for BJJ. Awesome program. They have so much yoga that you can try. It's routines for warm-ups, for cool downs, for stretching specific areas or for specific guards, etc. And everybody that's on that Yoga for BJJ program or their application is, all those guys are jiu-jitsu players. Like, everybody knows the struggle we go through in jiu-jitsu, and the yoga is designed to help you get through it. So something to think about. But try this quick routine, see if it helps you out and makes you a little bit more loose after a hard night and gets you set up for the next class. Post.